Jamal and Kim's Inner Circle Health Tribe, episode 43.
That's in essence why I termed the coin Chic Women Don't Diet, because they don't diet. They form a lifestyle that becomes a habit.
It's time to reverse the imbalances in your life as you take the first step on your own journey towards personal change. Welcome to Jamal and Kim's Inner Circle Health Tribe, educating, empowering, and inspiring individuals to live healthier. Now here are your hosts and your guides to natural living, Jamal and Kim.
Hi, Kim and Jamal here, and welcome to another episode of Jamal and Kim's Inner Circle Health Tribe podcast. This is episode number 43 featuring Milan Perry, and I'm Kim, and I'm joined with Jamal.
Greetings, everyone.
And
peace and blessings.
Yes. And this was another great interview we are showcasing this week, like I said, featuring Milan Perry from SoNaturelle. And this was a great interview because it's right in the wheelhouse of what Jamal and I have been preaching about, for lack of better words, for so many years about, the correlation between a healthy lifestyle and optimum health. There is no cookie cutter approach. There's no shortcut to it. But when you live a healthy lifestyle, because this is a lifestyle, you just automatically fall in line into being your best, vibrant self. And at our Holistic Center, Life, Strength, and Health in New Jersey, our clients are predominantly women of a certain age who, kind of may have lost their way in their life because, let's face it, we're busy as women. We're busy as people with our careers and other responsibilities. And you kind of lose your way. You lose yourself in just life. And, you look up one day and you look in the mirror and you say, who is this person? Where did I go? I don't even know who I'm looking at in front of me. And you just get to this point of being sick and tired and you want to make a change. And we kind of, touch on this in this week's podcast interview. And how do you address that and combat that?
Yeah, I really enjoyed the show. And Milan is definitely on our frequency. She sees the world through a holistic perspective, and she specializes in helping women over 40 to reclaim themselves, reclaim their health, reclaim their life, their passion. And, she uses the term chic, and I think it's appropriate as you make that transition into the next level of your life.
The woman of a certain age.
Yeah. and so it's very appropriate. And I think that it'll resonate with a lot of people.
Yeah, definitely. And before we dive into the interview, I just want to briefly read a little bit about Milan. Milan C. Perry is a healthy living expert, gourmet chef, and founder of SoNaturelle Wellness, which features her highly acclaimed program, Chic and Healthy Living After 40. She works with busy professional women all over the world who yearn for a new experience in wellness transformation. So that is a little bit about Milan, and let's dive into today's interview.
Yes.
Hi, Kim and Jamal here, and today we are joined by Milan Perry. Milan, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you.
Thank you, and thanks for joining us, and we look forward to sharing some amazing information with our community today. So for people just learning about you for the first time, what is your personal story and journey? Who is Milan?
Interesting question. I feel I have such a long journey. I'm a career changer, and my lifestyle as a working woman is always really demanded that I take care of my body physically. And during my 20s and my 30s, I was a commercial print model. So that really forced me to pay attention to how I looked every day. And, even when I didn't want to, there was my livelihood depended on it. And, there's a lot of women who, have to look a certain way when they go to work.
Right.
But I noticed as time passed, I was just getting tired of always having to be on cue. So I decided to just, walk away from that glamorous world of commercial print modeling. And I said, you know what, I'm just going to focus my efforts somewhere else. So I became a FedEx driver, which is completely different from me. because I just could never consider seeing myself in the position of just uniform every day and working in docks and being dirty. It just wasn't me. I came from a very feminine world, and then I found myself in a more masculine role. So it just really forced me to start paying more attention to my body in a different way. So instead of just on a physical outward appearance, I started to focus more on my inner body in that cellular level. And because at that moment I had to really keep up with my stamina because of the type of work that I was doing and sustaining myself with the right foods, it was just really, really crucial to do that type of work. But as time went on, I noticed something started to happen to my thought process because of that change in my lifestyle. During my late 30s, I just completely stopped paying attention to myself altogether because, being a driver, I was just so fatigued and I was just tired. And, after 5 days, sometimes I would work 6 days. And even though it's part-time work, but I just was exhausted all the time. It was part-time work technically, but full-time hours. Mm-hmm. So in November 2006, I turned in my blue, purple, and orange, and I just, walked away from it. It was just, very physically demanding career for me. And but then I noticed I wasn't paying attention to what went into my mouth because I was always eating on the road. Then my body just started showing that, it was breaking down. It wasn't appreciating what I was putting into it. Eating wherever I could eat, I would eat. I would eat from, customers and clients. And, so I would go from eating 5-star one day to 2-star or 1-star the next day. And it just, really took a toll on my body. And I started, my ankles were starting to give me problems. My back was starting to give me problems. And I was having lots of problems with my skin as a manifestation of what was, going into my body. And the muscle that I had at the time from working that physical job, after I left, well, now I'm getting close to my 40s. Mm-hmm. So the muscle became fat. Mm-hmm. So I just found myself later like about 20 pounds overweight. And it wasn't me. I didn't feel comfortable anymore, So I would say that was when my journey really began, when I left FedEx, because I was at a point in my life where I just felt those external factors, they weren't important, but at the same time I knew I should be eating healthier. And I just, like a lot of women, when you're going through the transitions and you're going through these phases in your life, I just couldn't seem to get started, and I didn't know where to start. So I just, sometimes because of either sadness, I would find myself gorging, and then the next day feel a little bit guilty. So, I was just feeling in a rut, and I'm one of those, I love chocolates. You put a jar of Nutella in front of me. I would eat the whole thing in like a day. So once I got out of this rut, I just really stopped feeling sorry for myself, and I made a radical change in how I was eating and committed to myself that I would minimize any addiction to comfort foods, and that began my true journey of transformation because I started empowering myself, and that was through education. My schooling started with nutritional consulting, and then just understanding what I'm putting into my body and holistic health, how my body is being affected on the cellular level, and how each system is functioning to give me the stamina that I needed to age well. Then I studied herbalism because I knew I never wanted to take pharmaceutical drugs. Then after that, I went on to study culinary, and then eventually to wine consulting. Because most importantly, I really empowered myself to transformation so that I could help other women experience that same type of transformation with their body and health and living lifestyle.
Yeah, that's a great story. Yeah. And that we say this all the time on our show, that the best healers are the ones that went through the transformation themselves. So they actually lived it, and now they're a living testament of the transformation. So it's easy to coach others when you went through it yourself, and we definitely see that with you. And in your story, you spoke about something very serious, and that's just, when a lot of people come into their 30s, especially a lot of our clients that we have, when they come into their 30s, you're getting more sense of direction, and you know what you want, and people kind of really dig down and they start working hard. So 30s is normally a time of just working so hard, and you just go. And a lot of times the health gets neglected.
Right. You lose yourself.
Yeah. In the 30s, you lose yourself. And then when you come out in your 40s and you know kind of who you are now, and you know what you want, and you're looking in the mirror and you're looking at how you're feeling, you're like, man, I'm just physically and health wise, I'm not where I want to be. You know, and that's the time, like the 30s beats us up a lot of times. And now it's time to, you know, put back in the work and reclaim our health. And we see that a lot. So with that being said, like, what is your perspective as far as the state of women's health over 40 in the United States?
You know, I completely agree with everything you just said, because when we reach that point in our life over 40, that's when you start to say, like, my body is changing. And if women don't, it's that critical moment. You can start a healthy journey anywhere in your life point, but at that moment, there's a crucial window where you can take care of your body now. So when you reach your 60 or 70, you won't look back and say, oh my goodness, you know, why do I have, you know, heart disease, or, you know, why am I having all this fatigue, or, you know, why is my body suffering this way? Because you did better when you were in your 40s and you had the vitality to do so. So in this country, 23% of white women, 38% of black women, and 36% Mexican women are obese.
Wow.
And as statistically, as a whole, it shows that 60% of women are overweight, and about 1/3 of them are really overweight and obese. And it's sad, because obesity has led to such an increased risk of death due to cardiovascular problems like hypertension and stroke.
Right.
You know, we possibly live a lot longer if we took better care of our bodies, you know, at those crucial moments of 40, you know, 30, leaving the 30s, going into our 40s, really paying more attention to our body, not just saying, well, you know, this is how it is, this is my genetics, but really making some changes at that point then. And as you make those changes, you know, everybody else in your family around you will make those same changes.
Yeah. And I'm glad that you brought those numbers up, because it just speaks to how serious it is that over, you know, 60% of women over 40 are actually overweight to some degree. And I think it's very important to understand that it's a lot of things that come with being overweight. Like your health overall is in jeopardy. There are so many different diseases and imbalances and health challenges that come along with being overweight. And it's also statistically proven that your life expectancy is actually shortened by being overweight. So just walking into that realm of being overweight and obesity automatically opens the door for other health challenges. So the importance of, you know, carrying regular or normal weight is important. And it just seems like that connection to food, people aren't fully making it. It seems like it's just so challenging for women to figure this whole thing out. They're going on different fad diets and different reports and things like that, and they're trying these things that just aren't effective. And I know that your approach is holistic, just like our approach, and we know that you know, diet isn't the way to go. It hasn't been proven to be effective overall.
Yeah, it's a temporary solution.
Yeah, temporary solution. Mm-hmm. Can you speak on that a bit? Like, why isn't dieting effective for women that want to make this change?
Yes, it's not. I just, before I answer that question, I just wanted to go back to something that you mentioned, because about how it affects us. Here's some of the other problems, and I consider these vanity. Mm-hmm. These are the problems that a woman who presents herself as being a chic woman, or a woman who feels that she looks really good. These are the problems that we have now. You can't, if you're wearing a pair of really gorgeous high heels, and you get home at night, your feet hurt, so you have to soak your feet.
Yeah.
So that's the here and now.
Right.
The here and now is when you're walking for so long and your back is hurting because you're carrying all of this weight on your body, that's the present.
Right.
When you're, waking up at night because, you just don't feel good in your body. You're trying on clothes that fit you last year, and all of a sudden this year, they don't fit anymore. You get that bulge, in the back of your skirt. That's a W, and it wasn't there before.
Yeah.
That's now. So that's what you have to look at every day that stares you in the face. And even if you're not having problems of physical ailments, but you're still having those other problems that are affecting your self-esteem level.
Right.
So when it comes to dieting, it's not effective because it's not sustainable and it's not transformable. So everyone's environment is so completely complex, and, our needs are different. You can't tell a woman who maybe her culture is, she's from the islands, and now you're telling her you can't eat certain foods, but this is her heritage. Or a woman who's from maybe Asia, but she lives in the United States, you can't eat certain foods, but that is her culture. Or maybe there's a woman who's trying to lose weight, but she's Muslim. Her faith doesn't allow her to eat certain types of food. Well, what do you tell her? So everyone's environment is, and their needs to be handled differently. So to put someone on a diet and restrict them to the same lifestyle that someone else has, it's restrictive, and it's very universal in that regard. But changing someone's behavior is highly individualized.
Absolutely.
And that's a transformation.
Yeah, and you raise a good point. Like it's an individual journey, and in our society, we have this cookie cutter grouped in approach, and the typical approach is everyone does the same thing. And if that's not what you need, it's not going to be effective for you. And there's a lot of women out there that are just lost. They're just lost, and they're actually trying, and they want to do something, but things aren't effective, and they just get frustrated. And one of the things that we see when people make that shift and they begin to change their lifestyle and live better and eat better, we actually see a reversal of the aging process. Right. Yeah. Do you see that as well when you're working with your clients?
Yes, I do. I definitely do. And they all comment that, not only do they just have more energy, they feel better about themselves. And I think that's a big accomplishment. When a person changes their lifestyle to go through a transformation in healthy living, they change, their self-esteem change, how they feel about themselves, how they look in their clothes. Your body is always showing its gratitude, and there's a glow about you. So, yes, my clients, they do feel that they feel better.
Yes. Indeed. And we've noticed that a couple of times you talk about chic, and I know that you've kind of coined the term. So I'm going to ask you, what is chic and healthy living over 40?
Well, chic, the reason I coined the term chic, because I think that when I think about a chic woman, she enjoys a good glass of red wine. She loves fine dining. She sees the importance of taking care of her appearance. She likes spending time with family and friends. She's open-minded. She's accepting and welcomes diversity. Not, I can't do that, or I won't eat that. There's a certain natural vitality and grace that comes with a chic woman. So when women pass a certain mark in their life, instead of feeling better about themselves, certain changes start to make them feel worse or not as confident. So the feeling of being chic that they had in their 30s, they start to lose that. And so a chic and a healthy lifestyle it really helps a person to restore their self-esteem and their balance, where there's a lack of it internally or externally, so that women can really walk away, and as they're walking down the street, their walkway it almost becomes their runway, because they get the essence of I'm chic. I'm a woman that I don't have to diet. I can have my red wine. It's okay, and not to feel guilty about that. You can enjoy dining out and not feel guilty about that. But there is a process. Maybe you don't do it to the same degree, but there is still a process in getting you to that state of transformation.
Right.
Let's understand your lifestyle and how can you make modifications within your lifestyle so you can reach your goal.
Right. And that connects to what you were saying earlier, just about just diets not being sustainable overall. And we talk to a lot of women that they're actually down about not being able to consume the things that they used to or eat a certain way that they used to. And what happens, what I see is, they go to a certain point and they end up just completely crashing and totally reverting and going overboard on the other side. So, but the fusion of finding balance and, what's right for me, how much of this can I have? It doesn't, people don't feel deprived and they're able to take this journey and to still be able to consume to a degree the things that they want. And I think that that's great. When I was looking at your website, one of the things that you were talking about was travel and helping people eat healthy and eat the way that they, it's sensible while they're traveling. And sometimes people will blow their entire, program on, a single vacation. How do you help people travel and still be healthy?
I've spoke with women who they do all of this work and get into shape before they go on vacation, and they're ready. And then, like you said, once they go, they just kind of blow it.
Yeah.
And then they come back and they have to start all over again.
Right.
Well, that's one. There was a mindset already started.
Right.
Really get into the mindset to help the woman to see the transformation before the vacation even starts. Number one is you have to have a strong reason why. And just vacation, that's not a strong enough reason. It's a good reason, but it's not a strong enough reason.
Yes.
When you go anywhere to dine out, you are not at the mercy of the server. You don't have to follow the crowd. I teach women to learn to respect their body and to understand the language that their body is telling them. Once you understand the language that your body is giving you, then you know how to respond to it, whether you're on vacation, whether you're not on vacation.
Yes.
And those that healthy way of living will continue throughout. It won't be something that you'll change then and do something different tomorrow. And I try to stay connected to the woman as much as I can. So I stay connected with them through email. If we're not connected by Skype, then, she will definitely be getting the emails to me. So she's getting that constant motivation and to stay focused, because support is something that a lot of people don't have when they're trying to, transform their body. They don't have as much support as they want, because even the support they have in their household, maybe their spouse or the children may say, oh, I'm here for you, whatever you need, I'll help you. But yet they bring things in the home that are destructive to the person's goals.
Yes.
So just really helping them to see that if you want something, you can have it. You don't have to be restricted, but to what degree should you have it? When is your body telling you this is not good? And are you listening to those signs that your body's saying? Because our body is always speaking to us. It's just we're never listening to it. Right.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the exact same message that we share with our listeners day in and day out. A lot of times, not only don't we listen, we don't even understand the language. So go ahead.
That's what my background in holistic health comes in at, is because it gives a person an overall view and helps them understand the whys and what is happening and what is their body saying and what does that mean. Once a person understands how their body is responding, they can also get an idea of, since I am a gourmet chef as well, there's a element of food, because I'm a chef, it's really hard for me to focus on dieting. I know we talked about that before. I just really want to bring that back up, because I have an outlook on all foods. So if you can understand even just what's being done in restaurant dining, then that would also help you not to consume so much as you're eating out. Because even eating out a lot, you're going to put on weight.
Right. Yeah.
But understanding why, and because I've worked in the restaurant industry in high-end restaurants, I know how food is prepared, and I know, what foods are loaded with butter and sauces and eggs and Caesar salad. So I know what goes into dishes. So I really help my client to really get an overall sense of her total lifestyle, not just what she does at home, but what she does outside of the home, what she do when she goes on vacation, and just really, like I mentioned, just to really stay connected with her throughout the whole process.
Yeah, and that's very important. It sounds like you definitely offer a lot. Like, can you just tell us, like, what services and packages are you offering to help to support women?
Mm-hmm. Well, at the moment, I'm currently offering a 7-week to Chic and Healthy Living after 40 for busy professional women who really are just tired of coming away from their closet, being frustrated and complaining about their body when they try on clothes that fit last year but don't fit again this year. So I'm really helping them to get into those clothes and to feel better about their body. And I feel once we touch onto that mindset, then the next phase would be, well, I'm traveling. I want to continue this journey. Mm-hmm. And then we go from there. But initially, I like to start slow and steady. A lot of people don't have, one thing I notice, women don't have a lot of time because we're so busy. So my packages, I usually keep them starting at 7 weeks. And that is it's a good opportunity for the person to make some slow changes, but make steady changes, because it takes 21 days to make any change that becomes a habit. So once that becomes a habit and she wants to continue to work with me, then we can do something a little bit more longer term of a 90-day and say, well, I want to take it a little bit slower because I have a few more issues that I'm trying to get through, and 7 weeks is just not enough for me. But for the woman who just wants to start slow, that 7 weeks is something that I offer.
Okay. From my understanding, are you offering like a complimentary session for people that are interested to take some time to see if this is a good fit?
Yes, I am. I'm offering my 30-minute Women Don't Diet discovery session, and it allows them to get an opportunity to see if it's something that they really want to do, if they are really ready to make that type of transformation. Because any transformation that is a lifestyle, I want to empower women where you don't have to come back to me. When you make that, and I know that seems almost like an oxymoron, like why wouldn't you want your clients to come back? Because I want it to be a transformation. Yes,
and how would people contact you? What's your all the information and social media information?
So I'm on mostly all the social medias except for Instagram. I just haven't really tackled that one. But I spend a lot of my time on LinkedIn as well as Facebook. So my email is always is open and welcoming people at Milan at SoNaturelle.com.
Okay, great. Thank you. And one last question for you. If there was one thing that a person could do right now to have the biggest impact on their health, what would you say?
I would say the biggest impact that they can have right now is to know your why and make sure that it's a strong one, because it has to be strong enough to make the changes and stick with it. And I find that for a lot of women, weight is very emotional. It's an ever-ending journey. People tend to yo-yo with their weight, but when you have a strong why, then this is it. I'm not accepting anything less. I'm doing this for me now, and I'm not waiting. Then that transformation from mind to body will start to take place.
Right. Yeah. Thank you for sharing that. And before we go, for all of the information that was discussed in today's episode, all of Milan's contact information, her website, her social media information, just go to jkhealthtribe.com. Go and type Milan in the search box. Milan is spelled Milan, and you can gain instant access to the show notes. And Milan, thank you once again for joining us.
Thanks so much.
This was a powerful interview, and it's going to help so many women to improve and live vibrant lives and be happy with themselves and who they are. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, same here. Peace and blessings.
You're welcome.
We hope you enjoyed your time with Jamal and Kim's Inner Circle Health Tribe. To keep you on your path towards a happy, healthier lifestyle, we encourage you to visit jkhealthtribe.com for content to help you find your health balance. Thanks again, and we look forward to educating, empowering, and inspiring you to live healthier.